Greetings. This is Babalawo Salako Awalola. I want to come to you today to talk about a topic of interest, ORI, and destiny. I was looking through a lot of videos today online about this topic, and it was interesting to say the least. But I wanted to come today and just talk with you a little bit about my point of view about ORI. Is ORI actually destiny? Let's talk. Greetings. I'm Babalawo Salako. I was initiated as a priest of Ifa and Obatala in Nigeria in 2006, and I've been practicing the Ifa Orisha religion for over 30 years now. My mission is simple: to help those who are new to the religion or lost in the religion. So if that's you, then buckle up and join me. This is TalkingIfa. So let's look at this. So when you look online, you see a lot of different things. Now, some of them can be confusing because there are some people that are mixing things. Like they'll talk about Ifa, they're practicing Ifa, but they're in a lot of New Age stuff, and they want to talk about the Akashic record and the Akashic library being where you get your ORI, but that has nothing to do with Ifa. So let's talk about, is ORI destiny? Well, first thing to do is look at the definition of destiny. So let's look in the American dictionary, because destiny is an English term. And there they talk about destiny being preordained, or something that is set, kind of set in stone. It's not something that's flexible, right? Now, I've seen a lot of people online, when they use the term destiny, they try to bend it up a little bit and say things like, well, it's not, you can change your destiny, it's not set in stone, you can do this, that, and the other. But when you look at the definition of the word or the term destiny, it doesn't fit, right? I mean, destiny is preordained or predetermined, meaning it's supposed to happen, it's not supposed to change, right? So if you look at ORI as equaling destiny, then that means before you come and we choose ORI, then everything that's going to happen to us is preordained and we can't change it. So is that the way in a sheshe that it's supposed to be? Well, let's look at ORI for just a second. How do we choose our ORI? So they say, okay, we choose our ORI before we come to Aye, from Orun, or from heaven to earth. Before we are born, we choose our own ORI, right? So what is that process like? Just kind of a quick overview. When we are in Orun, initially, so these are the things we have to look at. When you're Orun, initially, before you've come to Aye the first time, you're a child in Orun. So we're children, right? So the way that we want to become adults or to grow up in Orun is we have to come to Aye. We have to go through the test of Aye, which Baba Kola calls the Iwa Puele test, of coming through to Aye, going through all the trials and tribulations of being in Aye, and then growing, right, as a person, growing our Iwa, IWA, character while we're here, before we go back to Orun, before we pass away in the realm of people on earth in Aye, right? Hopefully we've grown our character by then. So number one, we're children when we go to choose our ORI. So where do we go to choose our ORI? We go to Ajala's house. Ajala is an entity in Orun. Ajala is not considered an Orisha, but Ajala is an entity in Orun, in Olodumare's palace house, that we go to pick our Ori. So in Yoruba language, Ori means, if you just say the language, Ori means head, your physical head. But also on the spiritual realm, ORI are the things that some people are calling destiny. Okay, but is it really destiny? Well, when we're in our Jala's house, we're children. So what's the issue with children? Children like those things that are shiny and sweet and, flashy. As a child, we can't be held responsible for our choices. So we don't go and say, okay, I want to choose this ORI because this ORI is going to make me a multimillionaire or make me a superstar athlete or make me this, that, and the other. We're going to go to what we think is shiny and good, right? So each of those heads that Ajala is making has different, what some people are calling destiny, but what I would rather call our highest potentials. The good things, as Baba Kola says, all the good things our ORI has in store for us. So there are good things there in ORI. We may choose one with good things, or we may choose one that's bad, that's shiny right now, but it's like a car that's made by a poor manufacturer that looks good now, but when you go out and drive it, within a year it's breaking down and you have it in the shop all the time, right? So that can happen. So after we choose our ORI, so another thing when we choose our ORI, when we're in Ajala's house, most of the time Ajala doesn't help us choose our ORI. Ajala is a kind of a recluse, a shy individual. So most of the time when people go to Ajala's house to choose the ORI, Ajala may be hiding in the attic or something. So they're around going in the shop looking at all these different ORIs, and they get tired of waiting on Ajala. And so then finally they say, oh, let me just choose one, right? This one looks good, this one's shiny, this one looks this and that. Let me choose that one. So they choose that. When they choose that, then also watching them there is Oromila. Oromila's there, Eshu's there, Batala's probably there, so they know, but especially Oromila dealing with what our so-called quote-unquote people are calling destiny. Oromila already knows that. Oromila knows which ORI we chose. When we go through the whole journey to be born and to come into IA, we go to the tree of forgetfulness and we forget what we chose in terms of our ORI. So part of going through this life in IA is to discover the good things that are in store for us in our ORI. So what is the best way to do that? Go to Oromila, go to Ifa, and divine regularly, because Ifa has those answers. And it can reveal you need to be on this path, or you need to be on that path, or if you go in this direction, you need to change, etc. So going to Ifa as our GPS of life is part of the way we navigate, right? It's how we navigate through our life through Aye. Ifa plays that part because Ifa knows. Now, English is a very limited language. It's very hard to describe a lot of things in English. Like, for instance, there's a lot of words that you may use and you think are English, they're really not. Like, for instance, there's no term in the English language for an entrepreneur. It's a French word. So we adopted that French word and we say entrepreneur, one word. If we're in English, we could say a serial business person, or a person who starts a business and likes to run businesses and be in business. We can use multiple words in English to describe that, but there's no single one word to describe that in English. So in Yoruba, there's a lot of terms and words that do not translate well into English. Okay, so what our Ori is about, it's difficult to put it into one word, but a lot of people have equated it to destiny because destiny is one of the closest terms. But I wouldn't use destiny because that's fixed. So say, for instance, let's give an example that you're a person and you are in a room, you go to Ajala's house, and you say, okay, when I turn 30, I want to be the president of the United States. Okay? So you find an ORI that says that. You choose that ORI, right? If ORI was truly destiny, you wouldn't have to do anything. You could be one of these people that just sat around on your parents' house, don't work, sit around playing video games all day, living off your parents, not preparing, not studying, not doing anything to grow as a person. And you say, okay, I'm 29, my birthday's coming up in 2 days. What does that mean? Oh, I'm going to be the president in 2 days. I'm going to be the president. I turn 30, right? Or sometime during that year of while I'm 30, I'm going to be the president. It doesn't work that way, right? You don't just wake up and become the president. What would you have to do that? You would have to do things and move in that direction and work in that direction. So when we deal with ORI, when we come to IEA, there is a partner. ORI is an Orisha. The partner is not. And that partner is your essay or your feet. So one of the things that we say is, may my essay be in perfect alignment with all the good things my ORI has in store for me. Meaning my feet representing an essay is feet. Essay can mean other things, but the essay I'm talking about is feet at this time. So the feet or essay go hand in hand with your ORI, meaning that your ORI has a lot of things in it that are there for you or in store for you to be able to get. It's saying you can get these things. They're there for you in your ORI. You just have to take the right steps in that direction to be able to attain those good things. So another prayer is, you say that, may all the good things that my ORI has in store for me, may my essay be in perfect alignment with that. Not my destiny, may my destiny in my ORI, because destiny is fixed. The good things in your ORI are not fixed, meaning if you don't take the right steps in life, if you don't put in the right work, if you don't move in the right direction towards those things that you chose in a room in Ajala's house, guess what? You will not achieve them. They're not guaranteed. You're not destined to achieve them. It's not your birthright to achieve them. It means, okay, these are some things you chose, so they're there. That means, okay, I can achieve these things. All I have to do is go to Ifa, divine, do my ebo, and most importantly, my taboos, meaning when you divine, not only are you prescribed an ebo, you're also given advice from the stories there. And what I mean by taboos, in this case, is when you divine, and if it says, okay, right now, Ifa is saying that you should avoid arguments, right? Don't get into arguments with anybody, keep a cool head, and this and that and the other. And you say, well, why is that? Well, Ifa may already know you're headed towards conflict. You're headed for beef with someone. And that someone you're headed toward beef with could be dangerous. It could be detrimental. It could be your boss at work. It could be a client. And so Ifa is saying, in addition to doing the ebo, or the sacrifices that are prescribed in the divination, these are the taboos or some behaviors that you need to also follow to get the full blessing. If you do these things, things will work out for you. You're heading in the right direction. You don't go to Ifa to say, okay, the purpose of Ifa is to try to make you a millionaire. No. The purpose of Ifa divination is to get you in perfect alignment with your highest potentials, or the good things your ORI has in store for you in life, not your destiny. The good things your ORI has in store for you in life, right? So that's the purpose, to get us back on track. Because why? When we go through the birth canal and we go through that journey of being born and we go to the tree of forgetfulness, Well, when we come into IA, we've forgotten what we chose as our ORI. So if we don't go to E5, it's going to be difficult to reach it. Now some may say, well, what about people that don't go to E5 and they still reach their highest destiny? Well, that's possible, right? There are some people that are more in tune, or more spiritually in tune with themselves. So even if they don't practice E5, they still may be in tune with, okay, I'm working in this direction. Well, this feels good to me. This is of interest to me. This is what I want to do in life. Then they may choose the right thing. They may choose what they also chose in a room, and they may work in that direction, and they may be very successful at it, right? We don't go and say our religious spiritual practice is the only one on earth that works and you just have to do this or else. But at the same time, every individual is required to do a ball, and if they don't, issue may bring different ramifications on them, but that's another video. So back to ORI. Is ORI equal destiny? I would say no, absolutely not. ORI is not destiny per the accurate term destiny. Now, if you want to change the term destiny to mean highest possibilities, good things that can happen to you, you could try to do that, but technically that's not the definition of destiny, so you're misusing the term. Just say a person's highest possibilities. Their ORI equals their highest possibilities in life. The highest possibilities that this person can attain are in their ORI. So now let me address that after we say that. Are they really the highest possibilities? Well, there's something in E5, if you go through the Odu, or the scriptures of E5, sacred scriptures of E5, or the E5 literary corpus, you'll also discover the power of Orunmila, where E5, now terms, when I say E5 and Orunmila, I'm using them interchangeably. E5 is more than just Orunmila, it's the word, but Orunmila can also be called E5, right? So another thing that's very interesting is that going to E5 divination, E5 can change our destiny, so-called destiny, right? Or our highest possibilities. E5 can change what's in our ORI. So say we chose a bad ORI. Say we chose something that says you're going to have bad health all your life and you're going to be poor and have bad health. You can change that if that's what's in your ORI, because remember, you chose ORI as a child. It doesn't mean you're going to choose a good ORI, because Ajala makes mistakes when Ajala is doing heads, or Ajala might get interrupted. Ajala may not do the best on this head, and that head is great and this one is not. So there's no guarantee that you're going to choose an ORI that really has everything good for you. Okay? So say you chose a bad head, a bad ORI. Well, going to E5 and divining with E5, Orunmila, continuously through your life, not just one time. It's a process, incremental process. But if you regularly go to E5, divine to get clarity on what you should be doing in your life and what you can do to improve your life, Orunmila E5 can change that. There's a saying that E5 can mend the whole world. E5 can change that. E5 can even change if you, in your ORI, if you chose a selected date to go back to Orun or to die on Aye, that date can be changed by going to E5 Orunmila. E5 Orunmila has that kind of power. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that ORI does not equal the English term destiny, the English word destiny. Your ORI contains the good things that Ifa or your ORI has in store for you in your life. It contains those things. Now, if you chose a bad ORI or bad head, then it's going to contain bad things that you have in store for you in your life, right? But either way, if you continually go to Ifa or Rumula, divine, regularly in your life, all of that can be overcome, right? Your ORI can be mended. It can be made into a good ORI with good things for you in life. But if you chose one that has good things for you in life, then going to Ifa can help you attain those good things that your ORI has in store for you in life. So that's all I wanted to say about that right now today. If you had any questions, you can send them to me in the comments. But hopefully I cleared that up. And be careful when you're in line with people that mix New Age spirituality and New Age religion with Ifa, and they say they're practicing Ifa, and then they start talking to you about all these other things mixed in as if they're factual. Okay, so basically what they are is their opinions. They don't have any evidence to back it up factually that it has to do with Ifa. Now, they could have studied these other systems and say, okay, this is what is believed in those systems. That's fine. But be careful if they don't clearly delineate the difference of when they're talking about something that they have experience or evidence with in Ifa versus what is something else, right? So I hope this helped, and may Ifa, Eshu, Ori, Egungun be with you always. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe Sheo.